with it. And load it up on YouTube. And there we go. Is it going now? And yes, it is. Cool.
Huh.
All right. All right. Welcome if you're here. Luke and I are going to play Diamond Dynasty again and probably talk about fantasy football and Dynasty fantasy football while we get destroyed online, I'm assuming. Sound good?
Sounds good. I'm just coming off a win, so I'm ready.
Oh, okay.
It's the first game I played online in like 2 weeks.
Okay. You want to play? Yeah, let's play ranked. Why not? What are we doing if we're not? If you have any fantasy football questions, drop them. We'll answer them. Dynasty, regular, doesn't really matter. We'll even answer like fantasy hockey questions. Don't know if we can give you good advice, but we'll try. I've invited you to the game. First question I'll ask you then: have you ever done like a fantasy hockey league or no?
Trevor, I don't even know if I could name 5 hockey players.
Honestly, it's fair enough. Oh, thank God you got Prince Fielder. Let's go.
I like despise hockey.
Really? You despise it?
Yeah. I think it's only good to watch in person. I hate watching it on TV.
Fair enough. I'm going to put in Pete Crow, Ellie, and who else do we want in there? You have first is Tatis can be short or third, doesn't really matter. We'll put Trout out there, why not? Then I have a pitcher that can throw gas, just like...
You're going to have to put... Can Pete play in left field?
I'm pretty sure. Let me see.
Tatis can only play in right.
Yeah, he can
play in left. Or can Trout play in left?
Center.
Okay.
And Trout can play... Oh, I got to pick Trout. Trout can play in all 3. So, yeah, we're good.
Perfect.
Josh Donaldson. I got to roll this Chapman now. Thank you. And Gregory Soto. So, I got all the lefties. Ooh, you're not going with your guy Skeens, eh?
No, people have kind of caught up to him.
That's tough. That's tough.
Wait.
Oh.
You have 2 lefties?
Yeah.
Okay.
So...
Then how about Mason Miller?
Yeah, why not Mason Miller? Official, NFL players will be allowed to compete in flag football at the LA 28 games.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I like that.
I am most excited for NBA Conference Finals.
Really? You're excited for the conference finals?
Well, yeah, I'm an NBA guy. These NBA players have been incredible.
Who are you picking? Knicks, Indiana?
I think the Knicks are going to win, and I'm rooting for the Knicks. But I think Indiana can win a championship.
I think
if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think we should probably put
Pete in left field. Yeah.
Well, I want to keep Pete in center because he's so fast.
Then put Trout in left.
We'll put Trout in left, Tatis at right, and then we'll put
Ohtani. Yep, perfect.
So you got Ohtani again, or is this a different card?
I don't know. No, I don't have Ohtani. I sold the Ohtani that I got.
Left or right?
Right.
All right, Scuba.
Derek.
God, we got a lot of lefties. Oh yeah, what I was
lefties are good to have.
Say,
but again, with the NBA, sucks we're on against crochet with all the lefties. But whatever. With the NBA, there's nobody who dislikes their sport more than NBA fans.
Except for WNBA fans.
I guess, yeah.
That
WNBA
has,
fans, every single conversation is just about racism.
it's honestly been impressive how quickly they've shown that
You
they
don't
can't
really
put up with
get.
the league.
It's kind of interesting to see because you don't really get racism claims from both sides.
Yeah. So, Luke, I'm going to start off by asking you about our Flurry Sports Dynasty League, the one where you took Luther Burden and Savion Williams. You
Yep.
didn't have a lot of picks,
Nope.
so I was wondering if you could take me through kind of your thought process for why you went them where you did. You went Luther Burden 2.5 and then Savion Williams 4.10. Is there something about the players that you liked? Did they just fall to you? Like, what was your thought process there?
Well, for everyone listening, go on to Flurry Sports YouTube page, watch our Dynasty Startup Draft picks. I talk about Luther Burden a ton. Luther Burden is just going to be the slot for the Bears, and we've seen what Amon-Ra did as a slot in Ben Johnson offense. And if Luther Burden can be, 60% of what Amon-Ra St. Brown is, that's incredible value.
Yeah. I was obviously in the draft. I was watching it. Ooh, baby, that's nasty.
That's you.
Yep,
Nice.
got him. And I was looking at, every pick as you do. And man, I saw that, I saw him fall to you. I'm like, damn, that might be the best pick of the draft because you needed receiver and you waited till 2.5 and you got Luther Burden.
Right, a guy who's going to start right away.
Savion Williams, obviously, TCU product.
Savion Williams was a homer pick, basically.
Kind of a homer pick, yeah.
Yeah, fourth round, might as well pick a Packer to root for him.
Yeah, because obviously, catching in his hands are definitely a problem.
Right.
But
yeah, I'm not expecting much out of him.
I mean, fourth round picks, really, especially I think it was a 4.10. I mean,
right.
How much can you really do with that? Not much.
I think in the fourth round you're looking for a guy who's going to see the field, and I don't know if Williams sees the field right away, but I think his skill set is too good to keep him off the field.
That's very fair. That is very fair. God, I gotta get out of this inning. Robin Yount is my ass. Good.
You're all right.
Probably should have picked a different jersey in the Mets, eh?
That's all right.
First issue. There we go.
In my other Dynasty League, I got to read you my lineup.
All right.
And tell you, and you're going to be surprised, like, what? That is a crazy team, okay? So it's Superflex.
Okay.
Superflex and two flex spots. There we go. Get down.
There we go.
Nice. Drake May, quarterback. Quinshon Judkins, Amari, and Hampton, running backs. Travis Hunter, George Pickens, receivers. Jake Ferguson, tight end. Xavier Worthy and RJ Harvey as flexes, and JJ McCarthy as super flex.
How did you get all these picks?
I had the first pick. I took Patrick Mahomes, and then I worked a trade to get Josh Allen, and then I traded them both, and Jamar Chase for picks.
Interesting. Wow. Holy shit. Well, I mean, you're putting a lot into rookies, but if it works, it works. Luke, I'm sending you the link to tweet out or retweet my tweet or whatever you want to do. Oh, baby, give me Prince. Lefty versus lefty is not great, but feel free to send PCA if you want.
I'll send them.
So what trades? So you traded for Josh Allen. You traded for Jamar Chase.
Shit. Traded them away.
You had... I thought you traded for them and then traded them away.
Nope. Oh, I traded for Josh... Yes, I traded for Josh Allen.
So what were those trades... What were the trades?
So the Josh Allen trade was 2 years ago, maybe? It had to... I gave away Puka and Devon Achane.
Oof.
And something else. I don't remember. And then Jamar Chase, I traded Josh Allen for Jamar Chase.
Interesting.
I traded Josh Allen for Josh Allen and Cooper Kupp for Jamar Chase.
You are the pitcher now, by the way.
Yeah, for Jamar Chase, a first rounder, and someone else good. JJ McCarthy.
Those are actually.
I'm sorry.
Nice
That's who I traded Josh. That's who I traded Josh Allen for, and I traded Jamar Chase away for 2 first-round picks.
Really, just 2 first-round picks? What was your thinking there?
Yep.
Do you just want to go full rebuild, or?
Correct.
Yeah.
And then I traded away. I had Saquon too, who I traded away for Drake May and a first rounder.
I really like that trade because although Saquon's really good, like
I wasn't going to win with him.
To your point, you're not going to win with him. Realistically, he should be at the end of his shelf life. Even if he turns into Derrick Henry, you can't count on it, right? Him to make it to 31 or whatever. So that's a fair take. And then I'll read off. We'll go to the other draft too. So this is the other draft that we are in. Let me pull up your team.
All right.
Oh, I know you like this team. You had 2 picks again. That's it. You went Amari and Hampton at 1-3 and Jalen Royals at 4-3. So
I love this team. This is our auction league that we started.
The auction league?
Isn't it? Didn't we do a dynasty with an auction?
No.
I think that was this league. Because I blew all my money right away on Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams.
No, this was different because I remember this is the league where I went to win now and I did not win now, so I immediately blew it up.
Oh, yeah.
So I know you like Hampton. Can you tell us why you like him so much outside of just being from North Carolina?
Oh, Carolina guy, 220 pounds in a Jim Harbaugh offense who just wants to run the ball every single play.
Are you...
That sounds like a ton of rushing yards to me.
Are you worried about him at all his rookie year, splitting with Najee Harris? Oof.
I mean, I guess. But Najee Harris doesn't scare me.
No.
They draft him in the first round. They're going to use him.
Interesting right to that ball. Yeah, I think his price... Don't get me wrong, I like Amari and Hampton. His price is so high that I think it's almost sell time for him. At
Amari and Hampton?
I'm thinking... I think he's better than Judkins, but I think I'd rather have... Oof, tough pitch. I think I'd rather have Judkins. I think you can get Judkins in a first for Hampton in some leagues.
Probably.
It also depends, I guess, if you're contending now or contending later. If you're contending now, Hampton might not be as valuable, but if you don't need him now, I mean, who gives a shit?
For sure.
Fine.
Uh-oh.
Oof, that's in the gap. That's going to be 2. So one of the big things... Oh, you got that in fast, dang. One of the big things in our league, Travis Hunter went 1,
Mm-hmm.
for those questioning or wondering. We have defensive players. Travis Hunter went before Genty. Do you agree with that or no?
No, that was a bad move by Jake. I talked to him about it too.
Did he?
Because I get his idea. I get his idea. You get a third receiver in there as your defensive back, right? It's the same thing everyone did with Taysom Hill at tight end / quarterback. But I mean, Genty is the best running back since, he's the best running back prospect in how long? I mean, he's going to be used. Yeah, and I don't know. He might even be better than Bijan. But Pete Carroll's there. They're going to run the ball. Geno Smith is great in play action. He's great against pressure. So I think Ashton Genty's a stud. Plus, he's coming off the best college running back season ever.
Melvin Gordon would beg to differ, but I see what you mean.
Neither won Heisman.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can see why Melvin Gordon didn't win it, even though, whatever. But Ashton Genty, I mean, I don't think there's a reason you should have lost that, but it's in the past. But yeah, it was interesting because I was texting Jake. I wanted that pick, the 1-1 to take Genty. Shit, that's at least a run, maybe two. Get that in Trout. Gun him, gun him, gun him. Got him. Let's go. Nice. I wanted that first pick. I offered him my first, which is later, obviously, and like a decent amount of stuff for it. And he wasn't interested, which is fine. I was thinking, he said, there's a difference maker at this position. I'm going to have to ask.
Go.
Yep, he's going to.
Nice.
I can't quite trust him to go three, but he said, it's a all-star type prospect, or, a team-changing prospect, which is fair. And then I was in the car for work, and I get the notification. I look, and he took Travis Hunter. I'm like, fuck.
Right.
And I immediately knew because Jake needed a running back, the other Jake, that he was going to take him. I was like, son of a bitch. But the logic made sense for wide receiver D-back, but if he doesn't play much D-back, you're also so screwed.
Yeah. I mean, Jake will be fine either way, just because you can.
Yeah.
He doesn't need D-back points for Travis Hunter to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically playing another offensive guy, one more offensive guy than everybody else.
Yeah, and that's definitely an advantage in its own right. But yeah, that league has been a slow rebuild for me. Somehow my best pick last year was Ladd McConkey. So that tells you.
Good pick.
It was a good pick, but, wish I didn't give up Oh,
get out.
Okay, that's gone. Let's go. Wish I didn't trade my... Can't connect to the service in the time limit? I don't know what that was about. Whatever. Don't like trading Marvin Harrison in my first this year, which would have... Oh, get down. Damn.
Oh.
To move up from 2 when I could have just sat there and taken neighbors, but,
Yeah.
Game's a game. Speaking of Marvin Harrison, what are your thoughts on him bulking up? Obviously, he was disappointed on a game-by-game basis, but he did have, 885 receiving yards, I think, about 8 or 9 touchdowns. What are your thoughts on him week 2?
I mean, I don't necessarily think that he's going to be, like, everyone's calling him, the next Randy Moss and everything. Like, his whole career is probably 850 to a 1,200 yard guy and 6 to 11 touchdowns. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, it's weird because you look at his stats and you're like, oh, he had a pretty good rookie season with Kyler Murray at quarterback, and then you look at how he was talked about in fantasy, rightly so. Now he finished fantasy, and it's like the sky is falling. People are wanting to sell him. All right.
Yeah, he's fine. He's just a guy who came in with way too high expectations, and he couldn't live up to them right away.
Yeah. Thoughts on Bashul Tutton fumbling that first carry?
I hate Jacksonville. I hate their backfield. I hate their offense. I hate their team. I hate their new coach. He looks like he's 12 years old. What the hell's going on here? So I have no opinion on him.
Fair enough. I'm still frozen. Are you too? Oh,
Robin Young is standing on home plate.
It says I've been disconnected. Were you disconnected too, or just me?
I wasn't disconnected. We
cool.
got a loss though.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. All right, we're gonna try it again. Goodness me. MLB The Show, get your shit straight. God, this Wi-Fi is awful. This Wi-Fi is dog shit. I mean, this might be on me, but I hope it's not. MLB The Show won't even load for me. This is tough. I don't know if we'll be able to play. This is the third straight video where we've had problems come up, so that's awesome.
Need that wired connection.
God damn, no kid. I've never had this problem before till now. First one, we didn't have sound. Second one, we got kicked out once the game froze on the other side and the broadcast stopped. And now MLB The Show isn't working.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's your Wi-Fi, because you sound fine to me. Like you're not cutting in and out or anything.
MLB The Show. Network errors occurred. Thank you. I appreciate for you telling me that. I couldn't tell.
You can try rebooting. Try again.
Wait. Oh, there are my rewards for the season that I already got, I think. Alright. Let's try it again. Make sure we're still broadcasting. Yes, we are. Good to know. Alright, let's try this shit again. Please don't screw up. MLB The Show. Do you have wired connection? I'm assuming you do, right?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's look at some of the other guys that were drafted here. Where do we want to play? Let's play it somewhere cool. Let's play it, we're not doing Polo Grounds again. Any place specifically you're thinking?
Wherever.
Play in Mac Park. That's kind of a shit show.
They need more good pitchers in this game.
They do. They really do. I'm gonna put in this LE, see if there's any difference. Trout, PCA. What are your thoughts on, real quick before we go back to fantasy, the Cubs? Are
They're really good. Yeah,
you like
they have
them?
the best offense. I don't like them, but I think they're very good.
The team's just
In fact,
annoying.
I hate them.
Because it's kind of like the same team from last year, but they're just a lot better.
Right. I mean, PCA is awesome, and Kyle Tucker is a top 3 hitter in the game.
Yeah.
Which sucks because they're going to extend him, and I'm going to have to complain about him for 10 years.
Maybe, although the Dodgers want him, and honestly, I can see him going there. Challenge failed? What?
Say we disconnected with the opponent.
The whole team again? Okay. MLB The Show, you're not doing a good job of marketing yourself right now, I have to say. So another guy, Ted McMillan. So I thought he'd go top 3. Obviously, turned out that, in one of our leagues at least, you took Hampton over him, which for your team makes sense. Do you think he's going to kind of have like a Marvin Harrison Jr. type year where high expectations doesn't hit it but it's still solid, or what are your thoughts?
I hate the Panthers. I think that Bryce Young sucks. I think what we saw was a flash in the pan. It was lucky break. They're playing 60 minutes of garbage time football for the last second half of the year, and they could just let Bryce Young do whatever he wants. So I think against a good team, I don't know that Bryce Young is even going to get a pass off. But like Ted McMillan's the guy that just throw it up to him, he's going to go get it.
All right, it will not let me move to set my lineup, or press start to advance, or do anything at this moment. So I feel like we're going to have another kick, at which point that'll be it. Any thoughts on... there it is. Your opponent left the match. Okay, that's not us. That's not our fault.
Okay.
Glad to see we can get a match. All right, Quinshawn Judkins, Trevion, any thoughts overall on either of them, or just they are what they are?
I like Henderson, I think, more than Judkins, just given the offenses that they're playing in.
Sure.
Ramondre Stevenson, I think, is probably still the guy in New England, at least for this year. So I'm not expecting a lot out of Henderson right away. Like Dylan Sampson's there, which scares me a little bit, but really doesn't scare me at all. I think Judson's probably in a vacuum. Like if you need one guy for this year, it's him. If you need one guy for 5 years, it's Henderson.
That's fair. Any Cam Ward was one of the guys taken next. Obviously, it's a weak year for quarterback. Some people are going to need quarterbacks in these leagues, which makes sense. I'll
Yeah, I
put it
needed a
this way.
quarterback in our league, and I punted on it and took Hampton instead.
I was just going to say, is there any scenario where you take Ward, or is it something where you're going, I don't want him no matter what, really?
Yeah, yeah, I'm willing to punt on quarterback from Cam Ward. Um, Tennessee, I think, is fine team. I think their offensive line's fine. I don't love their receivers. Their defense is fine. I think Cam Ward's a good pick for whoever took him. I just don't know that he's the guy that you're gonna have in 5 years and be like, yes, he's gonna win me a championship.
Or at least be good enough to consistently get you what you need
Right?
to
He
win the
feels,
championship.
yeah, he feels like if you're ranking quarterbacks in 5 years, he feels like he's right around that 8 to 12 range.
Yeah.
I
Guy
also don't
taken,
think that he was the best quarterback in the draft.
you'd think it was Shador.
I do.
Next interesting pick in the draft was me. I was in the middle of a rock on a hard place. I needed running back. Couldn't trade up to get one. Um, so, super flex. I was hoping for Ward. Somebody timed out, I think, got Ward. So I had Luther Burden, Emeka Buka, RJ Harvey, which I thought I'd be able to get him the next round, and Tyler Warren. I went Tyler Warren,
I like
Indianapolis.
Tyler Warren.
You like him? Do you think Anthony Richardson versus Daniel Jones is a huge difference in how he plays, or do you think long term it doesn't really matter?
Long term, it doesn't really matter. Like Tyler Warren's good enough that he's going to be. I'm not going to say he's Travis Kelce, but he's a guy who's going to be open in the middle of the field, and with two quarterbacks who have noted accuracy issues, it feels like a safe, open target right in the middle, and like he'll get time right away too.
Do you think the Bears made a mistake going with Loveland over Tyler Warren?
Um, Honestly, no. Like I think Warren's a better player than Loveland, but I don't think the Bears necessarily needed to go tight end right away. Like I thought Cole Kmet was fine. I think they had other spots to go. I don't know that either one are gonna in Chicago are gonna be Travis Kelce, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. And
So in a
another
vacuum, probably, but as a team, I don't really care.
yeah. Emeka Buka, obviously, he goes into maybe the weirdest situation. Tampa Bay went with him. He's a great player. I think we both think that, but Mike Evans is there. Chris Godwin coming back from injury, so who knows?
Yeah, I also love Jalen
Looked
McMillan.
good. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
him too. Where are you taking him in fantasy going Tampa Bay? Because obviously he's going to be probably really good in 3 years, 2 3 years. But
yeah, I think he's a good end of the first round pick. Like someone who's coming off a championship. If you can get him, I think you're doing very well.
yeah, it just
Like you don't necessarily need to put him in your lineup right away.
yeah, as a Mike Evans owner, Jalen McMillan owner, seeing them take a Buka, especially as a guy who's more of a slot, man, that hurt me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
We got a guy there.
Quick first out. This guy's got some cards and a half.
Yeah, this
Not great.
this team is pretty good.
So we talked about the one tight end, Colston Loveland. Obviously, Komet is there. I think we both like Komet. Is he a
Yeah,
guy
he's
that you're
fine.
like, long term, he's just fine. That's pretty much all he is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Again, I don't know that Colson Loveland is going to be a guy who's going to go out and win you. He's not the reason you're going to win a championship, which is what I like to do when I'm taking players. Like, who's the guy that I can put in week 16 when I need him? And I don't know that Loveland's that guy.
Yeah.
And there's not many people who are those players, but
Well, and even if he's like a Laporta, right, in Ben
right.
Johnson's offense, like Laporta has, he's a great player. He's got up and down games too. Like you can't count on him to be a huge difference maker depending on your league
Yeah, I
in the
often
playoffs.
think that young tight ends, people overrate them a lot in fantasy because there are no good tight ends in the NFL, and people really want there to be.
Yep. Got him at second. Oh, he's not even going to go to second. So then we had running backs back-to-back. R.J. Harvey and Caleb Johnson.
Love R.J. Harvey. Love them both.
What are your thoughts on either of them? You know, do you have like a one that you prefer over the other between Harvey and Johnson? Do you not really care? Is it a horse apiece?
I think short-term R.J. Harvey, probably long-term R.J. Harvey too. A running back in Sean Payton offense is going to get carries right away. Plus, Denver was a really good team last year. They just had nobody that could run a football, which is crazy to think because I've always said anybody and their mother can run the ball.
Yeah. Were you one? I think we're all a little surprised, not a ton, but a little surprised when the Broncos didn't go Omarion Hampton. Do you think it was the right move to go Barron and then Harvey? Because they did take Harvey a little early. Obviously, it's subjective, but do you think it was the right call for them?
I think Omarion Hampton's a much better running back than R.J. Harvey. But again, when Barron's there, it's hard to pass him up. It kind of felt like they did a Brian Gutekunst thing, right? They had a list that they wanted and they stuck to it.
Eesh. That pitch. Swing at. Caleb Johnson, what do you say to the people who feel like he's another Najee Harris replacement? Maybe some people thinking, Jalen Warren's going to leave the backfield. You like him. Short term, long term, all term, where do you stand there?
The thing is, like, Jalen Warren, his whole career has played in a share his whole career, and like people have talked a lot of shit about Najee Harris, which I guess is fine, but the guy's had 1,000 yards in 4 straight seasons.
Yeah.
Like, there are opportunities in the Pittsburgh backfield, and I think Caleb Johnson is just going to slide right into what Najee Harris was. And if you can get, 1,000 yards from a, 8th pick in Dynasty, I think you're doing really well.
Well, to your point, like, everybody talks shit about Najee Harris every year. It's like you're not drafting him as an RB1, right? If it's redraft, you're drafting him as RB2 or 3. And if you have him in fantasy, you probably took him in one of the first 3 picks. Oh, boy. That's all right. Yeah, you probably took him in one of the first 3 picks. Hopefully you didn't take him before Jamar Chase. But, to your point, 1,000 yards each of the first 4 seasons, like, that is a running back spot you don't have to worry about for 4 years. That's pretty damn good. So now we get to talk about the player that I think you're most excited about, at least from a personal level. Packers drafted a wide receiver. They got Matthew Golden, first round. Obviously, I think you like him overall. Dynasty, are you kind of the same, a little more sheepish on him? Like, where are you there?
Matthew Golden is going to just given that Christian Watson might not even play for the Packers ever again.
Yeah.
He's going to play right away. But again, we're just running the same dance back with the Packers. Is all the Packers receivers are going to be, 600, 800 yards guys and 5 to 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm just so hands off on all Packers receivers until I see a change. Like, I don't know why. I just don't. I don't know. They can't. I don't think. Dude, is that gonna get down? That was an awful pitch to swing at. Nope.
All Packers receivers to me are wide receiver 3s in fantasy.
Yeah, I don't understand why people take any of them high. Like go.
Oh, come on!
I think guys like Romeo Doubs, at least last year, in the later rounds you can get them. Those guys are steals, obviously. But, if you're drafting Christian Watson, Matthew Golden, redraft, we're both Packer fans. We play with a lot of Packer fans. Somebody's going to draft him early, but I don't know if that's warranted at all.
Yeah, I'm not going to be the guy who's going to draft him early. But, again, if you're in a 3-receiver league, I don't hate wide receiver 3. If you're in a 2-receiver, 2 flex, I don't hate him as your second flex, any of the receivers.
Where would you
And
take him?
and we know that. I mean, we know too that. Come on!
Get there. All right.
Nice. And we know that Matt LaFleur wants to run the ball 40 times a game, and they have the workhorse running back to do that.
Yeah. Where would you draft him in Dynasty then? Would you draft him middle second round, or would you wait a little bit?
Golden?
Yeah.
I'd say late first. I'd say if you're in a 12-team league, like 111 to 204, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Because he is going to be on the field. He is going to have opportunities. He is going to catch passes. And if you're taking a receiver in the first round, they're going to use him.
That's true. And they have to. If they, like the Packers take a wide receiver, it would be the most Packers move not to use him. But I think the fans would riot if he's not given a chance.
Yeah, I also think that given the system that they're in and given that the quarterback that they have, I don't necessarily ever know that one player is going to dominate in receiving. Like, I don't know that there's a Devontae. Like, none of these guys are Devontae Adams. None of these guys are Jordy Nelson. Love isn't Aaron Rodgers.
No.
I mean, that's not a knock at Jordan Love either, because it's a lot to live up to, but it's just a different team, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing.
Yeah. And, I mean, you have to scheme up something for Reed. It's going to be inconsistent. But when you have a guy that's going to be schemed for and he's not the wide receiver one, that makes it tougher. So
I don't know how many we are on these pitches. I don't know why these aren't getting down.
That one, the bat was in a bad location, but
I mean, even still, like all these other pitches.
This is tough.
Although they haven't really been either.
No. Eesh. So now we get to the part in the draft where Jackson Dart and Shador went back to back. We know you love Shador right now.
Love Jackson Dart too.
You like Jackson Dart?
Yeah.
Do you like him more because they traded in for him, or does that not matter for you?
It doesn't matter. Like, I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's in a good spot with the Giants. I think their offensive line is coming along, and they have a great defense. We're in a situation where Russell Wilson is going to, he'll bring the Giants to, 5-11, whatever the record is, 5-12. And then they'll draft offensive line or receiver, and then it'll be Jackson Dart's team in a year. I think in Dynasty both these guys, Jackson Dart and Shedeur Sanders, are great taxi squad guys, and Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, I think Milroe's kind of going under the radar. And to your point about Dart, like if he went to Pittsburgh, I think this is a different story. I think he's a dude that does really well with sitting. And to your point, like the Giants took Carter, so it tells me they're serious about building a decent team and not just going for flash, which is the worst thing they could have done at 3. So,
right. It's also they're not the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but I mean Jackson Dart learned behind Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. You could have much worse than that.
Yeah, a lot of people giving shit to Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. Like a lot of people would give shit to Rodgers too if he signed there. It's like even if these guys take the Giants to, let's say, 9-7, 9-8, I guess it's a successful season for them. Like you get the quarterback last on a rookie deal.
Right.
Well, we got a base runner, so no more perfect game.
No perfect game them.
Yeah.
We're throwing a pretty good game too. One hitter.
Yeah. The only problem is Dustin May hasn't thrown many pitches, so we gotta.
Yeah, I hate this Dustin May too.
It's a good card. Oh.
The sinker cutter are very hard to differentiate from this card.
The fucking sweeper when you're a righty. Good night. Oh man.
Yeah.
Trey Harris, Harbaugh.
Stud.
Get through.
There we go.
2 super fast fucking runners. Stud. I mean, I'm interested to see what happens with him. Just because. Oh boy. Just because like he could be a really good wide receiver 1. I don't think he will be, but he could also be like a Quentin Johnston where like, they still don't have a wide receiver 1 after this year. Outside of McConkey, obviously, but like not that big play non-slot guy.
Right.
Oh,
Get
baby,
out.
yes. Dead center. Prince is back. Good Lord. 450
Love
and it
this
just
Prince
clears
card.
the wall. God, Prince is the most fun player ever. So good.
That brings up a point here that I went to the Brewer game on Sunday when Jackson Schroeder robbed that home run. It was sick.
Oh,
But
sure.
this Brewers team is so unbelievably unfun to watch.
Well, it's interesting because
And I love watching baseball.
yeah, going into the season, my friend and I were talking, my fiance and I were talking about the Brewers, and I said the problem with Adames isn't his bat or his fielding because he was not good at either of them at the end of the year. Like he really didn't play that well last year, but like this team doesn't have a leader, right?
They
So
don't have anyone fun.
who's the most outspoken player on the team? Like the guy that's going to rally the guys? It's probably Trevor McGill, their closer. To your point about people fun, like Terang he's a great player. He's more like low key.
No personality whatsoever.
Hoskins is kind of the same way with no personality. He'll give you fire, but like that's a playoff type of guy. You have Churio,
Right.
but Yelich isn't that guy. Sal Frelick isn't that guy. To your point, it's
I
just
love Sal Frelick, but I think he's an incredible baseball player, but just no personality.
and I mean he can't hit a home run for shit.
Right.
I was at the game last night, and it comes off the bat at 103, but the launch angle is 20 degrees. It was a great triple,
Right.
but it's like, well, shit, that's not going to do much. Gonna be down. So,
All right, we got a 3 spot.
yes, we did. Thank you, Prince. Thank you, Luke. So, Cam Scattaboo, Jalen Milroe, they kind of ended the first 2 rounds for us. You talked a little bit about Milroe, so we'll start with him. Obviously, he's more of a stash. Or do you think he gets that's a bad pitch? Or do you think he gets playing time right off the bat? Like, do you think
He
he's an
doesn't.
hour
I
later or
mean,
both?
you pay Sam Darnold, you're going to play him. But
Yeah.
you draft Jalen Milroe, you're not going to play him. You drafted Jalen Milroe for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's 2 or 3 years from now. So it's a perfect stash. Plus, fantasy football for quarterbacks is all about what you can do rushing, and Jalen Milroe's almost as good as anyone in the league rushing.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Josh Allen and like how much he's loved in fantasy and dynasty because he gets all the rushing touchdowns. As a passer, his stats this year were just as good as Aaron Rodgers, and nobody
Right.
talks about Aaron Rodgers being good or anything in fantasy. So,
I know. I mean, like, just even looking at someone like Jaden Daniels last year, he had, 800 and some rushing yards? It's an extra 80 points in
Jesus.
fantasy.
yeah, Boy.
Lamar Jackson's had, a couple 1,000-yard seasons? Extra 100 points.
yeah. One, I mean, you put that over 16 games? I mean, that's 10 points a game.
Right.
I gotta focus now. I'm throwing good pitches, and then I had those 2 goofball pitches.
That's all right. Hey, we got a 3 spot, so we got a lead.
Don't say it too early. Cam Scattaboo, I'm seeing pictures of him next to Abdul Carter. I know Abdul Carter is a man and a half, but man, I do not like when he's standing next to Kay Adams and he's not much taller than her.
Right.
It makes me feel a little
I think
uncomfortable.
Cam Scatterbo, unfortunately, I think he got into a spot where he's overrated just because everyone loves him.
Yeah.
Which I think he probably goes a little bit higher because I think Tyrone Tracy's fine. I don't think he's like Tracy's not a workhorse guy. It feels like a 70-30 split for a couple of seasons if they keep Tracy to me.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think this comparison is going to get much love. But you know who Cam Scattaboo reminds me of, like his NFL profile? It reminds me of Ron Daines. Like at the college level, he can do a little bit of everything, but like at the NFL level, Scattaboo isn't fast enough. That's a nasty pitch. He's not fast enough. He's not strong enough. He's not elusive enough. And pass catching, he's decent, but he just seems to be kind of. I don't want to say at the NFL level. I'll say it. average at everything and not good or great at anything, which is tough.
Yeah, I think he'll be a great example of that the NFL defenses are much better than college defenses.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I want to like him. I mean, as much as I, hated watching him
Yeah, I
gas
love him.
Texas,
I,
he was a
I think
fun
he's a
guy to
great
watch.
personality too. Right.
But I mean, you called it. I mean, he's a guy that he's going to be the next like Lynn Sanity, in the sense that
Get
like
down,
New
get down,
York's
get
going
down.
to eat him up.
Right.
In terms of love him, if he has one good game. Sit down.
He feels a little AJ Dillon-ish to me.
He does, and that hurts me. That hurts me to agree
Yeah.
to. Damn it, got sawed off a little bit.
Get down, get down, get down. No.
That's an out. I made him throw some pitches. So now that was the second round. We get to the third round now with some guys. Jaden Higgins, Jack Beck. Jaden Higgins went to the Texans in the second round, which was weird.
Yeah.
With all the receivers, even though what's his name, Dell is.
Yeah, Tank must be. Yeah.
And they did.
They
lose
must not be
Stephon,
confident in Tank.
Yeah, and they did lose Stephon Diggs, but Mechie has gone completely silent. He had
Right.
cancer, came back. They're big on him. How do you feel, I would say, about any of these receivers for Houston? Jaden Higgins or who's the other one they drafted? Jalen Noel.
Noel. I think Noel's probably the better player. I think Jaden Higgins is exactly the position that Nico Collins plays.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how that's going to work. But, oh boy. At least for fantasy... At least for fantasy this season, just given how horrible and dog shit their offensive line is, I think you stay away from the Texans altogether. Like, you let someone else draft C.J. Stroud in the third round. You let someone else draft Nico Collins in the second round.
Yeah, I can't even really explain it. Nico Collins is a player. Don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic player. At drafting him in fantasy, he's one of those guys that I kind of look at the same way as Ayuk. They're talented players, but every time I see him, oh boy, what is this? He's like standing on the plate for me. Oh, there we go. They're both guys that they're fantastic players. I want not a lot of part of them in fantasy. Like, for some reason, I just can't come around on them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's how I feel about, like, Ken Walker.
Yep. Especially with the injuries, boy.
Yeah.
There we go. Nice pitching. Jack Beck, obviously going to
Stud.
Vegas, correct?
Yep.
Stud. He's 6'1". He's a little taller than I remember him being. Do you think... Shit.
Jesus.
It paused, and I already know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crashed. It's just paused off the bat. Was it a home run?
I'm paused too, but just by the sound of it, it sounded like a home run.
Well, it wasn't the no doubter animation, so that's good. Maybe this will be a old-fashioned freeze-off where the first person to quit gets a loss.
Really good game, MLB.
Yeah, no kidding.
This has been going on for 7 years.
Yep. It's gotten worse this year, too. I don't know. Jack Beck, do you think he plays like the Hunter Renfrow role there, or do you think he plays outside?
I think he's probably an outside guy. I just don't know Jacoby Myers. I'm always wrong on Jacoby Myers. I think that he sucks. I would never start him. I think Jack Beck's better than him.
We will probably end the stream just, after we finish with the third round, because this game's probably going to be frozen for the foreseeable future. Will Howard, Harold Fannin, Jordan James. Any thought about any of those three?
Will Howard's probably another stash guy. He'll get a year or two behind Rodgers at Pittsburgh once Rodgers gets there. And Jordan James, is just I get the intrigue of drafting San Francisco running backs because it feels like they all play. Just when are you ever going to start Jordan James in his career?
Yeah. Then the rest of that third round, we already talked about Tutton, Dylan Sampson, Jaden Blue, and, the one auto draft, and Alec Iomanor.
Jaden Blue is interesting. I think he probably sees carries right away at Dallas. I mean, Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders certainly aren't going to be guys. So Jaden Blue is a path to getting carries right away, which is great if you get him in the third round. Alik Almanier, he's awesome at Stanford. I think I had him in college fantasy for a couple weeks. I don't know. I mean, how much do you trust Cam Ward in a young Tennessee offense?
Yeah, it also seems like a weird place for him where, like, Chimere Dike went there and Restrepo went there, and it would not shock me if either of them did more than him.
Right. And then Dylan Sampson is at Cleveland. That's probably going to end up being a year, probably 2 or 3 years, somewhat of a split with Judkins, maybe like a 70-30, 80-20. I think it's a great handcuff to have. And, I mean, we've seen what Judkins has done in a split through his whole career in college. So I think Sampson's fine. I think that's a fine pick for the end of the third round.
It feels like, I mean, I could be completely wrong. I could eat my words. It feels like kind of with like a 1A, 1B, but like with not as much of a B for Dylan Sampson. Like
Sure.
Like not quite a 1-2, but not an A or a B either.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a 1A, 1C minus.
Yeah. And well, with that being said, the game has crashed. We got 51 minutes, kind of, not really, out of 2 games that ended early. So we'll count that as kind of a win.
In the 2 games, we were up in the first one and tied in this one.
Yep. And
six combined runs on the board.
Yeah. So once again, thank you, the show, for stopping us from just being decent. So with that being said, we'll have some more stuff going out this week, more fantasy content. I'm probably going to throw out some articles, for Dynasty stock market. Everybody loves making trades, even though it's usually a bad idea in the off season before news starts coming in. We'll have articles about that. Luke and Zach always have streams up. Wisconsin GeoGuessr, regular GeoGuessr. Luke?
At some point, too, I'm going to do my NBA mock draft article, too, that I love doing.
That's going to be big as well, especially with goddamn Mavs getting the first pick. Can't tell me that isn't rigged, but that's a story for another day. I
have a funny story before we go out here.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll end it on that.
My cousin, she knows nothing about basketball. She is going or went out on a date with a guy who was a big basketball fan, big NBA fan.
Sure.
And so it was during the lottery, right after the lottery, she texted me and she goes, going on a date with the guy with the basketball fan. I want to know that I can talk basketball with him. She asked me, what does the Luka Doncic trade mean? So I sat down for an hour and a half and wrote her the whole history of the Los Angeles Lakers, J.J. Redick, him getting hired, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, the whole thing, and Dallas. And then I told her about the trade and how the conspiracy is that Dallas tried to get rid of, Luka Doncic to move their team because Mark Cuban sold the team. Went through the whole thing. Like, you have to scroll. Like, you have to use your finger like 7 times to scroll to read the whole thing. And then I told her how rigged the NBA is, that Dallas got the first pick and went back and did the Patrick Ewing example, the LeBron James example, the David Robinson example, all the conspiracy, the Derrick Rose. It was very funny.
Did you get that to her in time before the date?
Yes.
Okay. Now the next question I have for you, because this would make it even more funny. Was her date actually an NBA fan, or did he not know anything about any of that?
That's my question. I haven't followed up with her on that yet.
That would be an important follow-up. One of the stories I saw today was Shaq saying, David Stern asked him, "Hey Shaq, you want to play in warm or cold weather?" He said, "Hot." And then Orlando won the lottery, which, for as bad as David Stern was, boy, he was so fucking funny.
Right. Love David Stern. Incredible.
Well,
incredible personality for the NBA.
Tune in to our next podcast. Look at us on YouTube, Twitch, Spotify. We will give you the results of the story of Luke's whole whole little production to his cousin before the date on the NBA. Was he an NBA fan? Was he not? You'll have to stay tuned. So, with that being said, we're going to quit this game and we're going to get off air, and we will catch you guys later.
Peace.